Hi, I'm Paul, and it's time for another episode of... Do you ever listen to music? Do you ever think that sometimes things sound the same? Or that everything has already been written? What if there was a way that you could cheat? What if you just added more notes? I mean, our notes only go up to G. In the Western world, we've stuck to using the same 12 equal note intervals per octave for centuries. We kept things equally divided by frequency to give each note the same distance between them. But some other cultures, like in the Middle East, have traditionally used completely different notes and scales than we have. I really love the sound of this kind of music. It definitely just evokes a completely different kind of feel to me when I listen to it. It shows that we don't actually have to limit ourselves in the Western world to the notes that we've always used just because it's tradition. There are so many other kinds of sounds we can make and listen to. All we have to do is have a way to do it. But what if we wanted more notes? Is that even possible? Of course! Technically, we could have infinite notes going by sound wave frequency, but how would we play them on traditional instruments? Well, in the case of guitar, the notes are provided by the frets, which decides exactly which part of the string is going to make a note. We can actually bend the string itself still, though, to get a different note. Or using a fretless version to choose exactly which note we want to play by moving our fingers precisely. The reason our Western instruments have frets is because it just makes our traditional notes easier to hit. You don't have to guess, you can just place your finger in a place and the frets will do the rest. Those frets are actually the reason the Fender Precision bass got its name. It was the first precise electric bass instrument to actually have frets on the neck. But what if you want to reliably play notes outside of our familiar Western scales? You'd need some additional frets on your guitar. That's where the Revelation Marrakesh comes into play. Name first came into existence by the German company Hohner in the 90s. The UK's very own Alan Entwistle was a major influence behind the circuitry, the pickups, and the guitar designs at that time. In the mid-90s, Hohner decided to focus on harmonicas and accordion instruments, so they sold their UK premises and the Revelation name. For a decade, that Revelation name lay dormant, but in May of 2010, it was reborn. The sales team that acquired the name were consistently being bombarded by requests from music stores for a brand of guitars and basses that would represent both excellent quality and value for money. They decided to relaunch the Revelation name for this new brand of quality value instruments and got Alan Entwistle back on board for the project. budget for these instruments was all pushed into the guitars themselves to ensure a quality experience first and foremost, which did mean less spending on marketing or website building, which is probably why a lot of people won't be that familiar with the Revelation name compared to some of the others. One of the biggest unique design features of Revelation guitars is the ATM5 switch, which stands for Allen's Tone Network. This switch acts a bit like an analog modeler, changing the characteristics of the pickups across some classic sounds. The ATM can actually be bought separately and installed on any other guitar if you're interested. It's available on Allen and Entwistle's website. It's a handmade in the UK, completely passive way to change the tone of any guitar. Interestingly, for a budget-conscious brand, Revelation have made sure these guitars come stock with a really good Wilkinson bridge, decent vintage-style tuners, excellent pickups. These P90s sound superb. These kind of things are often the first bit to suffer on some of the other value brands. Revelation offers some really unique guitars for the price range. Things like 12-string offsets, 6-string basses, semi-hollow Jazzmasters, classic Vox style guitars, and a lot of left-handed options. You ever wanted a left-handed 12-string Jazzmaster for less than £400? Revelation sell it. Interestingly, these Marrakesh guitars are actually made from a type of wood called oakum. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, sorry. I'm not a wood expert.
Okame.
It seems to be becoming a more commonly used wood for guitars now, including some of the Squier Paranormal range. But what does oakum mean as a tone wood? It's super lightweight. It is soft and doesn't necessarily resist impact that well. It's cheap, and because it's soft, it's very easy to shape, sound, and root easily and cheaply. It is being used on more guitars though, like the Squier Paranormal Telecaster and the Jackson Dinky, what a name. In recent times, we've been slowly getting more exposure to microtonal music in the Western world, especially helped by the legendary Australian band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. They've recently released multiple albums of guitar-driven microtonal rock, psych, and doom songs that have been hugely popular, perhaps opening the door for more musicians around the world to get into this incredible and inspiring style of music. Few other new microtonal guitars on the market now, like the Eastwood High Flyer microtonal. You can also buy microtonal necks to fit to existing guitars, or you could go full DIY and add more frets to your own guitar. Look how many notes you get from C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's another very important question. Does it fuzz? And does it doom? revelation guitar is ideal, it's affordable, it's still available to buy new, and it's got decent build quality and great sound. Alan Entwistle is quite an interesting character. He's worked for Burns Guitars in the UK, Jansen Guitars in New Zealand, Tanglewood Guitars in Asia, and Hohner in Germany, including many years spent living and working in India and Australia, working for the guitar industry. In the 90s, Hohner used the Revelation name for some of their craziest guitars. On their website, they've got some really cool custom creations they made, including this amazing looking angular thing, which I couldn't find any more information on, sadly. But how cool does it look? I think the Revelation name is quite an inspiration. They've made some really cool looking guitars, and it's great to see it back on something like this. It can take a little bit of getting used to at first, having all these additional frets, but when you do get used to them, it really opens the door to some amazingly exotic sounds which we're just not that used to yet in the Western world. And once you do get used to all these additional frets, when you go back to a normal Western guitar, it does feel a bit like you're missing something again. Thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please do give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more videos, and leave a comment letting me know what you thought. I'm looking forward to making some more of these, and I'm learning a lot with each one that I do. Bye!